Hello. I don't know how well this is going to go, but I've been telling myself for too long that I need to start doing this again. And oh, cat's probably going to come in the picture. And I've also been wanting to share. I've done this before. I have some videos where I've done some stretching, but I need to get back into this. I am 54 and several years ago was diagnosed with fibromyalgia and a bunch of other stuff. And one of the things the doctor had suggested was physical therapy, and I'm hoping this volume works. I have to start somewhere. But he said that I could start physical therapy, and I went home and after a while got to thinking about it because I knew I wasn't going to do that. But I started just making it a point during the day to do stretches, while I waited for hot tea to warm up in the microwave, or standing at the counter, bending over, because my back, at that point was not feeling good. And it started feeling better, but I don't like, being upright for long. So one evening I started, just while I was in bed right before sleep, I just started stretching. And that felt good. And then one day I added tennis balls, which I should explain. I have 2 tennis balls. And this is Briskets, or Kitty Kitty Shmoo Shmoo. And what I'm basically doing is my own form of PT that I've kind of evolved over the several years. Don't get on there. No, 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 no. She's mad because I have her thing that she gets into the window on. Well, it's live. Hello. Anyway. So I've done this off and on for the past, I couldn't even tell you, 4 or 5 years. When I do it, it definitely helps. And then, of course, life, and I quit doing it for a while, which is the case now. I have not done this consistently for at least a year. I've done attempts, but I don't last past a few days. So my hope, plan, going to this I'm going to do it for longer, because I don't like feeling how I feel at my age. But what I do with the tennis balls and my thinking, because I'm very much into weird things. And so this helps me hit those knots, those tendons, and I can put my own pressure on it. That's what I love about the tennis balls. I also just use my fists, like when I'm laying down and doing it, I'll just use my fist for leverage. But I don't do anything in particular. I've learned to listen to my body. And I know it sounds weird, but it's like right now I've got that spot on my right foot. And then at the base of my thumb on my right hand, I've got pressure on it, and I can feel that there's a spot there. We call them gremlins, because some of them are gremlins. My husband's really good at finding them and chasing them. But the one thing that I discovered when I really started getting into the stretches and things like this was how interconnected everything is on my body. And so I've learned, or come to imagine, as basically I'm doing like my own personal chiropractic Reiki. I don't even know. Because I picture, like all of the nerves and some of them how they get kinked or blocked, the muscles, the tendons, all the fibers and everything, ligaments and joints that get stuck together and need, broke apart. So I've learned to listen to my body, and it can do really weird things. So I'm warning you now. It's oftentimes funny. Most I would describe it sometimes when my body gets on a real good roll. I like to think of it as like resetting, because once you unclog or untwist or unbind or reset, whatever, I said reset, whatever, something, then all of a sudden that lets things flow differently. So, and I would describe it as like a toothache pain. When I first get back into doing this, it's parts, it's just like physical therapy. Parts of it are not pleasant, but I'm in control. I can do the pressure. I can stay where it needs to stay, move where it needs to move. I can do it sitting up, laying down, which I'll show another time. Oh, gotta get a drink. I used to talk. And every day is different with how my body is. Like some days, I get, it felt like all of a sudden it's like, move. Okay, there we go. Some days I do the tennis balls, and the minute I put them down, it just feels so good, and I just go rolling. Other days I put them down, and as soon as I put them down, I can feel it. And it's like a toothache. The only time that I've actually ever been to the point of like tears was a couple times when I was in a really bad flare. And everything, of course, is extra, extra sensitive. And he was trying to help me get out of the flare, and chasing gremlins. But the after, that's why I like to do this right when I'm ready to go to bed. Not this, but what all of my stretching weird stuff. Average probably, like once I'm really on a good flow, probably 45 minutes a night, which sounds like a lot, but it's actually not. It doesn't seem like it. I like having my MP3 player, which I gotta get me a new one because I love my MP3. Because then I can click, and then music is also really good, vibe wise, energetic wise, flow wise. And sometimes I'll land on a song that works, like if I'm in a slow, stretchy mode, or one where I'm, in a more upbeat, whatever. Whew. In case you're wondering, feels like I'm pulling myself back in place. I kind of like to imagine it as, like those things where you push the button, like the skeleton, and it falls apart, and then when you let go, it comes back together. Kind of like that philosophy, but add like, the chiropractor realigning. So instead of, just getting like one thing snapped back into place, it it feels like there's, a whole bunch of things that are getting worked on. Right now, that base of the foot, whew, okay, shoulder just popped. It's just so wild to me how, I know everything's connected, but I've got to the point to where I really understand how something down there can affect something at the opposite end of this, yeah. Ooh. I said, there's no rhyme or reason to what I do. I listen to my body, go with the flow. And what's grand about this is if I wanted to quit, I could quit. I have like these, I like to listen to my body and do until every part of my body is done, or at least, like my feet and back. But if I was especially tired or just not in the mode, when I get to that good spot where I feel like, oh, that was good, then I can stop. I've had lots of nights where I ended up for like an hour and a half because I'd start with the tennis balls, whew, until I felt, either until I was tired of doing it or that they had gotten their good stuff done. And then I go on to back and stretching. And I do need to figure out a microphone system because once everything loosens up, my back will pop like popcorn. And I can hear it. I might as well share because it keeps on popping. And then every once in a while I get that good one where like I can feel like my hip like shift back into a better position. Whew. But when I do this, I know I'd said, I kind of like imagine like the nerves and stuff. It's like the hoses. But I also picture like in one of my old science books, or any book, you've probably seen the pictures of like the skeleton and then the muscle and, whatever. Well, I try to also picture everything being aligned the way they're supposed to be. And feet are notorious, I have a feeling, for causing a lot of other issues just from being out of whack. Too tight, not flexible. Whew. You'd definitely be surprised how good tennis ball can feel. Definitely a lot looser. Get that one spot on the right side, I can feel it's kind of doesn't feel like it's flowing right. I'm gonna readjust my hips. Try to lengthen There we go. Okay. By shifting like this, I'm pushing up or pushing down on the bed, and also trying to push my hips down to kind of stretch that lower back. Whew. And I can also put a little more pressure down on those tennis balls on that arch. Both arches, but the one I feels, I kind of go by like, does one feel like the other side, and what do I think they should feel like? Back in the old days when I was when I was young and didn't think about not getting older and having aches and pains. I go all kinds of different directions, trying to find those spots, because once I find it, then I just go with it. Trying to work on that outside of that right foot. I know it sounds weird, but I'm going to also try stretching. I imagine, just big, long fibers. Actually, I kind of imagine it, like the old, when you find a old rubber band that's got like that white powdery stuff on the outside, and then you pull it apart. Not the ones that are so old that they crack and break, but the ones that, once you pull them, they're almost like new. Well, I kind of imagine that's what our body's like, that it helps to stretch everything. We don't use much at all of our, there we go, shoulder, of our muscles and stuff. And we definitely, I don't think, do the stretching on a normal basis. But I bet you would be surprised at how good just stretching feels, even without tennis balls. Just, sit and stretch, lay and stretch. But listen to your body. I definitely listen to mine. And I've been doing it a while. And I'm naturally flexible. So I'm sure stretching also. Okay, so I've actually put a pressure point on my wrist. I'm going to work at that spot because apparently there's something. And I know I close my eyes a lot, but that light's kind of right there. But I also always have my eyes closed when I do this. I just know it's rude. Oh. I can feel that knot kind of like releasing a little bit. Oh. And now it's that bicep, my left bicep. Oh. It's tight and it needs stretched. And I'm not like tugging hard on my arm. I'm just holding the stretch, wiggling the fingers, still holding that spot. I said, I listen to my body. I know it's weird, but oh. I go slow when my body does its thing like this. I technically could stop it, but I don't like to. But if it just goes where it's going, I just go along with it. This is all part of that shoulder. Then I feel it on my right hip. I know it looks funny, but for me, this is what my body needs. Ankle cracked. Feels like it's not done. But I couldn't be in that position. I'm going to stretch this other side because I like to try to keep things even. Couple of pops. Another pop. Whew. That feels better. Oh, well, that one feels lots better. Oh my goodness. Okay. Whew. Okay, pop on that one. I'm going to see if I can get this one to finish doing what it needs to do. Because this side feels really good right now, so I'm not going. It's like that relaxed feeling. Feels like it's tight right in here. So what I do, let me shift again. I like being able to push down on the balls of my feet, I guess. Of course, got to get the balance just right. So I'm just going to kind of find wherever it feels like it's at. And just because it feels like it's in one spot doesn't mean I'm going to find it there. Feels like right in there, it's tight. There we go. I feel a sneeze coming on. But something shifted in my wrist. I felt good. I've also found that there's a spot, that meaty part of my thumb. So I can get in there and wiggle around and find a gremlin usually. Yep. And I'm just pushing on it. I start off by like squeezing or pushing, depending on where it's at, my thumb. And then whenever that starts easing up, then I move it around a little bit. But between feet and hands, you figure that's all we're doing all day, is using both of them. So to me, it makes sense that our feet and hands have a big say over the rest of our body. Whew. So then, once I get through that stage, then I start, just kind of massaging around. Ooh, that's amazing. Oh, I don't think that'll ever cease to amaze me. How getting through that weirdness makes it feel so much better. Yeah, I got one on my left hand. So I'm pinching that fatty part. I go all the way down and I just kind of go until I find a sore spot. And then I just squeeze. Sometimes it doesn't take much, which, I just popped. Sometimes, popped down there now. Sometimes it doesn't take much to get rid of the little knots. Oh, but there's one right there. Okay. That one's not so bad. That one's more of not a knot. It was, yeah. I don't know how to describe it. Okay. All right, finger snap. All right, I think I'm getting about done. Whew. For tonight's stretchies, I'm going to do one more where I kind of imagine I'm completely lined up and everything's where it needs to be. With those thumbs, been on that phone too much, I can feel it. So here I'm just holding my thumb and letting my left arm hang, kind of pull. And sometimes when I do an involuntary twist, I don't keep holding tight to my finger or whatever I'm holding. I loosen up because I don't want to break something. Ooh, there we go. Those are the ones I look forward to. The ones where all of a sudden it's just like it's like that final puzzle piece. Whew, that was just a little click right in there. Oh, that feels so good. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side just in case the thumb wants to do something. Oh, yeah, I just gotta right here. I can tell I'm out of shape. I can't have my arms up as long as I used to. Whew, but I want to finish this. See, this is part of my exercise too, because when I'm doing stuff like this, oh, there we go. I'm also doing more movement than is normal, and anything above normal is exercise, in my opinion. So I'm also exercising. Okay, so I feel it right here in my thumb, so I'm pushing on my thumb. I cut my wrist, my hands face up, and I got my wrist in there. It's that thumb. I'm just waiting to see what it feels like I should do. Sometimes I gotta wait or take matters in my own hands because it's like my body gets, it's like, wait a minute. It's right here. So I'm still putting pressure just where it was. Woo, rubbing this. Whew. And it's right in there. All right. Right foot bone click. It's right at the base of that thumb. My guess is it's the arthritis. So I imagine it being, like all kind of stuck together with like gritty stuff all around that joint. And so it's my job to help get that loosened. Get that gritty stuff off. And like I said, I know it looks weird, but man, it helps my body relax so much. Okay. I still feel like that's gonna need more attention, but I think I'm gonna call her quits for this evening and go enjoy this relaxing feeling. Whenever you watch this, thanks for watching. Oh, and hopefully we're gonna be having progress on that because moving stinks.